My father has dementia, and so we look after him. And he has he's I don't know how long he's been ill, but he's quite clearly been ill for the last year, and I think it gives you an insight like nothing else, doesn't it? Everybody thinks they know about it, but until it actually happens to a member of your family, I think that you don't really realise just how much there is to learn, and how bewildering it is, and how you feel like you're the first person ever to have done it. You know, to have had to make these decisions and to kind of plough your way through. And I think one of the challenges really is to ensure that the support which is available for people is revamped, but also it's just made clearer and just better signposted, so that at a time of crisis you can get some help properly and real advice, and you know where it is. As I say, now I've been Shadow Care Minister, I now know. But when my father first became very badly ill, I had no idea what I was doing, and we got there, But the fact that people talk to me and not to him, because he'd always been my father, and I'm quite respectful of him. So I found that quite demeaning. And then sometimes, actually worse than that, was when people talked to him and he really wasn't with it, and they then were bewildered and not knowing what to do. He had a house in Cyprus, and within the Cypriot community, it's very much, you don't talk to the younger people, you talk to the older people, which is fair enough. But there were times when my father was very confused, and they didn't know what to do, and and you could see they just had no idea, and I didn't really know what to do either. So all these things you learn, don't you? All these things you learn, so how to do things, and also what you do about somebody when someone is confused and completely convinced about something. Do you challenge it? Don't you challenge it? Do you play along with it? If you challenge it, how do you challenge it? And there's no book about that. Or no, there are books, but nobody agrees, what the right way of doing these things is. And then the other thing was that my father had a condition that wasn't Alzheimer's, but was one where the Alzheimer's drugs were actually positively dangerous for him. And that's what he had been diagnosed with originally. So all these things. And it's only been a year. Dad rings me and I'm in the middle of something and I have to kind of drop things and have to do it in a discreet way. I also have children who do that too, so it's kind of sometimes, you have your phone on vibrate and you look at it and you go, oh, how am I going to get out of this meeting now and speak to him right now? Because he won't understand if I don't answer. I think actually of all things that's it. I mean, I have people who, he's in a care home, but he wants his family. I mean, understandably he wants his family. So, and quite often if he gets confused or upset, then the best way to deal with it is for him to talk to his daughter. It's very difficult to quantify how many people have responsibility for caring, and who does caring, and to what extent, and what is defined as caring. I slightly glibly say caring is what the vast majority of women do, in some way or another. But it is something, and there are people who will give a couple of hours a week, and then 20 hours a week, and then some give their entire life bar 2 hours a week. So very different people doing very different jobs, but with one thing in common, which is that their responsibility goes unrecognised and unrewarded, I think. Not just financially, but just not recognised, not seen for the real benefit that it has, not seen for the benefit that we have for the people that we care for and for the community as a whole. And it's kind of basic bread and butter stuff, and yet it's taken for granted, as frankly so much of what women do sometimes is.